How do you gain 5 pounds when your body feels smaller? I think a lot of people on GLP-1s need to hear this kind of week talked about out loud. This is my week 9 update on 7.5 milligram Mounjaro. And if the scales ever messed with your head, this one's for you. Welcome to Slow and Steady with Andy. I'm Andy. And today I'm going to be sharing the type of week with you that I dread sharing publicly. But here I am, an open book, as I'm on this health journey of mine. I'm 50 years old. I'm a type 2 diabetic, and I am on Mounjaro to help manage my diabetes as well as hopefully lose 130 pounds. So let's just get right into this. So I'm coming off of the week of New Year's, and we didn't really do anything that week. It was actually a very normal week because my husband had to leave out on New Year's Day to go to work. He's a truck driver. And that week I only had the actual day of New Year's Day off of work. So I think we were eating some normal leftovers on New Year's Eve. We stayed up just until midnight and then let's go to bed. That's how it is anymore. If you know, you know, right? All right, so I'm going to get right into this. I am going to rip off the band aid and share with you what the scale read this morning when I weighed in. Oh, you guys, what the heck is going on? Now, I've been taking Mounjaro I'm in my 7th month, I think. So I am very familiar with the scale not moving, scale barely moving, scale finally moving. This is my first experience of scale really doing the opposite of what I thought it was going to do. Just to keep you up to date in case maybe this is your first time watching one of my videos, let me get you up to date on where my weight has been for the past 4 5 weeks. So December 20th, I weighed in at 236.7 pounds. December 22nd, I weighed in at my lowest so far since being on Mounjaro, which is 235.7 pounds. And then on December 23rd, I weighed in at 237.5 pounds. And then January 2nd was 238.2 pounds. And now here we are. Today is January 9th at 240 point blah, blah, blah pounds. And like I can understand the up and down of 1 or 2 pounds, but 240 pounds, I'm like freaking out a little bit because nothing has really changed with my eating. And my kind of lowest weight, I was actually going down in weight over like Christmas week. I lost weight from Thanksgiving through Christmas, and like a Christmas miracle being on this medication, I got through the holidays like beautiful. There were treats everywhere. There was all kinds of appetizers, all type of goodies, and I didn't need them. I did not overindulge like I would have on past holidays, especially with the like Christmas time goodies, the sweets. What else? The foods that were served at like our holiday gatherings were all very normal. There was just a lot of variety of foods available, so I could keep it pretty straightforward with sticking with my diabetic plate type of eating. Now I did have some things here and there, like on Christmas Eve, we went to my sister-in-law's and she had this massive Costco pumpkin pie, and I literally had a sliver, like a sliver of pumpkin pie. I didn't even have pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving. So I'm telling you all this because I have stayed on track. Now, I'm also not on a restrictive diet. If there's something I really want, I will have it because mentally, That has been working out better for me. I'm not drawn to anything that is going to cause me to stay off track from what my personal goals are. Sorry. So the only thing I can think of is that for a lot of December, I kind of got off of my daily routine of walking on the treadmill on my lunch breaks and walking after work and doing some weightlifting. That's because I was doing a lot of practice learning a dance routine that we were doing at my friend's daughter's wedding. And you can watch some of my older weekly update videos and you'll hear more about what it was that I was actually doing. But we were very active. We had a lot of stuff going on through that month, as a lot of us do. So activity wise, I wasn't slacking. It's just that I was doing so much every day that I really didn't need to go walking because I keep track of my steps on my watch and I was hitting 10,000 and over for most of those days. So this week, which is the full week after New Year's, I decided, okay, I'm going to get back on track, start doing my walking on the treadmill. And I also got back into doing some weight training. We have one of those weight stack machines in our basement with the leg lifts and the pull bars and like the whatever that's called, all that stuff. So I've been doing that. I've been doing hand weights, which I do 8 and 10 pound hand weights. Been doing squats throughout the day on my work day just to kind of keep moving a little bit here and there. So the only thing I can think of is that I have noticed in the 7 months when I start paying more attention to working on building muscle, I tend to hold on to water. And so, of course, Googling things over the past several months about building muscle and whatnot, it is common that muscles will start holding on to water weight during that recovery period. So I'm hoping that after a couple weeks of being back in the routine of working out regularly, that that'll fix itself and I'll start seeing the weight come back off again. The crazy and frustrating thing is, though, that this week I started feeling a shift in my body. I started really feeling that around my midsection, uh, I just felt lighter. It felt smaller. I really feel it in my sides. I feel it in my arms. Well, I got the flappy bat wings going on, but I feel it in my arms. Where else? I don't know. I feel lighter in this whole top area, which has really been the slowest area for me where I'm noticing my clothes feel bigger. But there are shirts that I haven't worn in a really, really long time that when I put them on, they are loose in these areas. So it's wild to me that I can feel smaller, that I can notice that my body is definitely changing, but the scale is just not cooperating. Now, I have had some of you suggest that I should measure, but you guys, I am so busy that it's just like one more thing I am not ready to add onto my plate of commitments. So So as for now, your girl is not going to be doing any measurement. I do wish I would have did some measurement before I actually started. That way, even if I wanted to measure once every 6 months, I would see that comparison. So overall, I'm not really listening to what the scale is saying because I can feel it. My body is adjusting. Something is happening. So we will just give it some time and see if we start seeing that weight come down again on the scale. So since this is a weekly GLP-1 update video, I like to do a side effect check-in. Last week I told you that I was having a lot of sulfur burps and gas, and this week it seems to just pretty much be gone. I here and there, I might get some of the sulfur burps and a little bit of the gassiness, but I can definitely feel I had felt very bloated, and I feel that coming down. So I don't know if that is also coming from just hormonal shifts of my body. Maybe some of you know what I'm talking about. I feel like shifting from perimenopause into menopause, sometimes I get all the effects as if I'm going to start my period, but then I don't really have the period. So it almost seems like that when I'm feeling that bloating and that gassiness, but I don't know. It's all speculation to me. It's a journey, right? As I'm getting older, I am learning new things every day about how my body is reacting to getting older. So as far as the appetite suppression and the food noise this week, it was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I had only through my work day, which we've talked about that too. Only through my work day was I getting those urges to want to munch on something. And I really feel like it's because right now I'm under just that job anxiety and stress. The beginning of the year, January, even going into February, it's just a very hectic period for the job that I'm in. So I feel like that stress is there, and the food noise was there a little bit. I was still able to stay on track and not give in to those urges. When I do snack, I snack on things like almonds, and I always have like Swiss cheese or Baby Bell cheese, and I don't overindulge on them. I have a serving of almonds and a serving of cheese, and I'm able to get through it. So I'm just thankful for that. But as I got into Thursday and then today, Friday, no food noise, appetite suppression was back in force. So it's just so interesting how week by week things are so different. Even day by day, things are so different. But I was kind of worried that my 7.5 milligram Mounjaro was starting to go down the road of the 5 milligram Mounjaro and start giving out on me, but I don't think so. I think this dose has just been really, really great, and I hope I can stay on it for several months. But we'll see what happens. If I start losing the appetite suppression and that noise starts coming back every week like that, then I'm going to have to talk to my doctor and see if it's time. But I'll be taking my 10th injection today of the 7.5 milligram. And by the time I was on my like fifth or sixth week with the 5 milligram, I had none of the good benefits going on. I don't really even think I had much appetite suppression for the whole 5 milligram period. So yeah, really, really happy with 7.5 so far. As far as energy is still good. There were a couple days where I was feeling kind of sleepy, but I don't think it had anything to do with fatigue from the Mounjaro. I think it was because it has been super gloomy around here. Like during the day, just been so dark that it looks like it's 7, 8 o'clock at night. And that just makes me feel sleepy. But other than that, I still have lots of energy. It just amazes me how much energy I have since being on the GLP-1. It really has. I can't say enough. It has changed my life. Let's see. So what else new happened this week? So for any of you who are type 2 diabetic and you are on a Dexcom G7, let me know in the comments down below. I'm curious to know if anyone else is on the Dexcom. I started the Dexcom G7 15 day this week. So I think I'm on my second day of it. But I'm pretty excited that they brought out the 15-day because having to change them out every 10 days, it just seemed to be going by so fast. I don't like when I first was on it, I didn't think anything of it, but after using the Dexcom for many months now. Some days I was like, there's no way it's been 10 days. It feels like it's been 5 days. But anyways, so that's just a little side note for some of my type 2 diabetics who are on the CGM monitors. I really like being on this. It really has helped me gauge my blood glucose levels throughout the day. I can easily tell different foods that spike, or I love being able to tell instantly if my blood sugar is going low, because if you don't have a CGM, then you're having to like poke your finger 50 times a day just to get information throughout the day on where your blood glucose is at. So, yeah, I really, really like having it. So, something else that I've been dealing with this week is, well, this week and last week, when I was filming last week's video, somehow I accidentally took a picture of the back of my head. I didn't know it until I started editing. And I saw this picture and I was like, oh my gosh. I have, I like, my hair is really thinned out a lot in the back area and like up front. I've always had widow's peak even when I was like a little girl, and I I am pretty sure it is not because I'm on the GLP-1. I've had hair thinning for several years now, and it's definitely hereditary. My nonna had thinning hair. My mom had thinning hair. My dad was bald, and other people in my family have also been dealing with thinning hair. But when I saw that picture, it just like it hurt. It hurt. So so next time I go see my doctor, I am definitely asking to get on some minoxidil to see if that'll help bring it back. But in the meantime, I was like looking up some other things I could do, and I found some hair fiber powder stuff, and I got some off of Amazon, and I've been trying it out, and I'm telling you guys, I it made me feel so much better. It's really helped fill in. My scalp looks really bright white. So I have the dark hair going on right now. So if I have a part, it's just so noticeable. And now with the powders, I'm like, this is awesome. I love this stuff. And it was like super affordable. I did add it to my Amazon storefront. So if you just want to be nosy and see what I'm using, the Amazon storefront link is down in the description area. But I am very shocked at how well this stuff works. Now, it does feel a little bit weird. I don't know how to describe it. I can feel it like in my hair a little bit, but it's not coming out. I was worried it might come out and then be on my forehead and stuff, kind of like eyeshadow fallout, but it hasn't been, and I don't know if you can tell, you know, uh, it definitely looks much fuller. I had very, very thick hair as a little girl, and when for me, I've always struggled with weight, but I've always had nice hair. Like, hair has been the one thing I had that I felt like was pretty. So seeing it thinning has just been very, very traumatizing. And I don't know if I'm ready to go the route of shaving my head and getting a wig, but I will if I have to. Before I, no, I will if I have to. I figured I would share that with you because I know a lot of you are here to listen to the GLP-1 type of updates that are going on, but this channel is actually my whole health journey. And this is a part of my health journey as I'm 50 years old, and getting older. All right, so I am going to quickly do my week 10 injection. I'm actually going to do it on my thigh this week because for the past, I don't know, I think 3 or 4 weeks, I've been doing it on my arms, and I like to alternate between my thigh and my arms. So let me get this together and we will get this going. Okay, so just trying to find the mushiest spot right now because it will hurt the least. And I've got my alcohol wipe here. Alright. And I've let this sit out for a while now, so it's pretty much room temperature. I always give it a peek to make sure nothing is broken in there. Take our cap off. Unlock. All right. 3, 2, 1. It's done. It hurts. It hurts a little bit. All right, y'all. So week 10 injection is complete. And overall, I think this was another good week. I think we just need to remember that scale fluctuations don't erase progress. Stress and movement and hormones, it all matters. On the upside, appetite suppression is still working. Food noise is mostly quiet. And most importantly for me, my blood glucose levels are still staying within my range. So win, 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 win all around. I will be back again next week with my week 10 update and week 11 on 7.5 milligram Mounjaro injection. Yes, I know I'm a big baby, but it does sting a little bit. But I promise you, if you are trying to decide on whether to start one of the GLP-1 medications, that you will very quickly forget those little stings once you start experiencing all the great benefits that can come from using one of these medications. This is what slow and steady looks like in a real body. So until I see you next time, we keep going. That's the plan. Slow and steady always wins. See you in the next video.
Seen a lot
Bye.
of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.